Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to BYJU'S exam prep. Good afternoon to each one of you. Welcome to this new session, which is on Z. Of course, the Z exam is near now. We have already gone past CAT very soon. SNAP would also be over. After that, on 18th of December, you have IIFT. उसके बाद नंबर आता है Z का. On the first Sunday of January, we'll be having the ZAT exam. And of course, I would be writing the exam along with you. तो मैं भी लिख रहा हूँ, हर साल लिखता हूँ. ZAT का एग्जाम और एक IFT का एग्जाम. I actually love to write these two exams apart from CAT. So I do write them every year. So, but therefore, I'm going to talk about ZAT today. That what exactly is ZAT all about? What are the different things which are there in ZAT with respect to the exams? I mean, other exams which are there. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर आप कैट से कंपेयर कर रहे हो तो उसमें क्या डिफरेंसेस हैं उसके बारे में हम लोग बात करेंगे. व्हाट आर द अदर थिंग्स? इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चंस, ऑफ कोर्स आई विल बी टेकिंग अप योर क्वेश्चंस एज वेल. So that's what we are going to discuss in this session. Apart from that, I'll be talking about a 30-day strategy. आने वाले 30 दिनों में आपको क्या करना है उसके बारे में भी हम लोग फिलहाल बात करेंगे. So before I start, can you all just confirm it to me? Is everything fine? Am I audible and visible? Hi, good afternoon, Gaurav Kumar. Good afternoon, Sankirtana. Very good afternoon. Good afternoon, Jayadev. Good afternoon to all of you. Others as well. Can you all please confirm it once to me? कि सब कुछ ठीक है, आप सब लोग मुझे सुन पा रहे हैं, देख पा रहे हैं. हेलो ओम बगल, गुड आफ्टरनून, वेरी गुड आफ्टरनून. Other people, hi Sujin Anto, please be in English. Okay, I'll try to be speak everything in English then, Sujin. Okay. So hi Rishikesh, good afternoon. As audible and visible properly. That's great. Thank you, Sankitana. Thank you. So, a discussion about the sections of that exam, a discussion about the cutoffs as well, and a roadmap for the next 30 days, what you should be doing. That's what we are going to discuss in this session. Yes, I would always request you guys to that please ask your questions or queries through the chat box. Whatever questions you have regarding the ZAT exam, I would be happy to answer all of those one by one. Okay. So let us start with the session without any further delay. The first thing first, what is the exam structure? The ZAT exam actually is of 165 plus 15 minutes. What does that mean? Actually, this 165 minutes is for the first part of the paper, and that part one is basically verbal ability, reading comprehension, decision making, and QA plus DI. So these are the three parts of your first 165 minutes. The next 15 minutes is for part 2, which is basically GK, and then you have a written, I mean, you have to write an essay on a particular topic which is given to you. Okay. So the total time taken would be 165 plus 15 minutes. So once again, my laptop has started behaving improperly. That's a common problem with this. I don't know why does this happen. Just a second, guys. And yes, I see that it has gone into some other mode. Okay. So just wait a minute. It does it sometimes. What I've seen that it does it sometimes like this. Yes, I'm sure it will be okay now. Okay. So अब ठीक ठाक हो जाना चाहिए. So it does it sometimes. Automatically it moves on, and then I have to close everything and I have to start from the beginning. Now I think it is visible to you guys, right? So 165 part 1 VRC DM QADI 15 minutes part 2. Now when I talk about this part 2, actually this part 2 would not be a part of your overall percentile in Z. So when you have that Z scorecard, that scorecard will be having a percentile from your VARC, from DM, from QADI, then an overall percentile based upon these three sections. There is a percentile for, sorry, a score and percentile for GK as well. right? But that would not be a part of your overall percentile, and the written exam, the topic that is given to you on which you have to write it, so that would automatically go to the colleges which are looking for it. Normally only XLRI looks for it, so you can say GK and the written part, that is only important from XLRI's perspective. The first three parts, of course, for all other colleges which are accepting the Z score. So this is true for all of them. Okay. If I talk about the exam structure of the Z exam, you can say the total number of questions was 100. This is the case in Z 2022 as well as 21 as well as 20. Total 100 questions, total time 165 minutes. For VA, which had 26 questions, decision making, which had 21 questions, quantitative ability, which had 28 questions, and GK, which had 25 questions. I'm sorry, 165 plus 15, 180 minutes. So this 15 minutes is only for this section, and otherwise for all three of them you had 165 minutes. There is another good thing about Z, good or bad I don't know, basically different from CAT, that is that you can spend your time as per your wish in any of the three sections. So it's not necessary that you have to do VA first and then DM and then QA. So the sections would not be ordered in a way that you have some sectional time limit for them. So you can use in any one of them. That's a possibility. How much you all people scored in CAT, sir? Is it possible if someone scored negative in CAT to score 99 in Z? Yes, unmanned, it is positive. I mean, possible. If you work hard, you can do it. Okay. Gaurav Kumar says essay. Yes, essay is there, Gaurav Kumar, as far as I remember. Last year, generally they will give you two topics. From one of them, you have to write an essay. So last year, the two topics were, one was, I think, about capitalism versus democracy, and he was saying that there is a difference between the two, and that ways you had to write on something. And second was about, he said that a good manager can only be a person who has gone through difficult times as well. So when through CAT they take people who are academically very good, they feel because people are only already very good academically, they have not gone through tough times, and therefore B schools are going to produce bad managers. This is what they I mean gave in the second topic. These were the two topics from the last year as far as I remember. How is Z quant different from that of CAT? Swamita, I will be talking about it. Z is all the more difficult than CAT. It also combines DA in the same section. I would not say more difficult, Gaurav Kumar. Nowadays, if I look at CAT, actually, I feel that Z is slightly on the easier side, because one thing, there is no sectional sectional time limit. That is the one bigger portion of it. Second thing is that the DI that you are talking about, it's not that difficult. Even verbal ability is slightly different from CAT. I'll be talking about it later on. How to avoid silly mistakes in LRD and VARC? By doing the questions twice or probably looking at them thrice. I scored 31 marks overall in CAT 2022. Any chances of scoring 90 percentile in Z 2023? There are all the chances, all the chances. Rather, it is said that many a times people who are not able to do good in CAT, they do good in Z, because they are actually two different kind of exams. So this generally happens. How to be good at RCs? Of course, you have to read a lot, Umbagal. This year, quants was a little on the difficult side in CAT. Depends from person to person, what is their opinion about it. Okay. So that's about the structure of the exam. Now, when I talk about the XLRI cutoffs, right? Of course, you all know that there are two courses. One is BM and the other one is HR course. So these were the cutoffs for Z 2021. So what I see, there is a different cutoff for males and females, right? So 84 percentile was the sectional cutoff for males for the BM program. 75 percentile was the sectional cutoff for males for the females for the BM program. Similarly, 74 for males in decision making, 76 percentile for males in verbal ability, and 94 percentile overall. And these are the equivalent scores at these percentiles. These are equivalent scores at these percentiles. And there is an important point here that you all can see, in my opinion. You should pay attention to this part. The cutoff for BM in marks, it is around 9 to 10. So for a male, it will be around a 10. Cutoff in DM is around 7 to 8. So for a male, it would be around 8. Cutoff in verbal ability is around 8 to 9. So for a male, it would be around 9. So 10 plus 8 plus 9 makes it 27. And overall cutoff for a male is around 34. There is not much difference between them, right? 27 and 34, they are not much different from. So if these sectional cutoffs are clear, there are good chances you would automatically be able to clear the overall cutoff as well as far as BM program is concerned. For the HR program, it will be slightly on the lower side. जो 94, 92 है, they will go down to 92, 90. लेकिन यहाँ पे इंपॉर्टेंट बात हम लोगों के लिए ये है that this tells you sectional cutoff of XLRI is extremely important. You might say that why the overall cutoff is so low. This 94 might look a little bit low to you because this is the best college under CAT. If under Z. If I talk about the best college under CAT, it is IIM Ahmedabad. Their cutoff would be around 99 point something, but here it is 94. The simple reasoning is that sectional cutoffs are so high that not many people who score more than 94 percentile, they clear the three sectional cutoffs as well. किसी का डीएम में रह जाता है, ज्यादातर बच्चों का एक्चुअली डीएम में कट ऑफ रह जाता है, किसी का वर्बल में रह जाता है, किसी का क्वांट में रह जाता है, एंड देयर actually people lose out, right, at this opportunity. Okay, so I see some questions here. Aditi says, sir, can we go to any section between these 165? Yes, Aditi. Can we skip RC and still get 90 plus percentile in VARC? For that, you have to get all other questions correct, probably, Pratik. Though there are not many questions on RCs in Z. When I talk about VA section, I think VA section has some 23, 24 questions. I discussed it on the previous page, right? I think 25 questions. So out of those 25 questions, I think 11, 12 questions are from RCs, not more than that. So it can be done. You can attempt GK, but you can move across quant VRC and DM in 165 minutes. That's correct, Gaurav Kumar. Okay. 34 will fetch what percentile in Z? 95 for men. 34 will fetch, in my opinion, yes, more than 94 for sure. Gaurav Kumar, right? Definitely more than 94 in Z exam. As per last year, I think it was 95. As I said, 94 से ज़्यादा ही आएगा. Does 40 marks confirm an admission in XLRI Jamshedpur? It does not confirm. Even 60 would not confirm because there is a second stage as well. It can confirm the second stage on Bagal if the sectional cutoffs are clear, if the sectionals ones are clear. Okay. Okay, so these are some of the important things. As I said, HR में ये थोड़ा सा cut off lower side पे होती है. In BM actually they are slightly on the higher side, and these are the cutoffs. This is not the scenario in IFT. In IFT you would see the sectional cutoffs. They will add up to 14, 15. Overall cutoff will be around 50, right? So वहां पे sectionals are very easy to clear. Just attempt a section for 10 minutes, your sectional is clear. That does not happen in XLRI. You have to have equal score almost in all the three sections. That is going to be very important for all of you. Okay. Now, if I move ahead from here, what is the difference between ZAT and CAT? Okay. In verbal ability, you have questions based upon critical reasoning. Not specifically, they say it's a question based upon critical reasoning, but actually, even in RC questions, they might ask you questions which are critical reasoning based. You have questions based upon vocab. You have questions based upon grammar. Almost every year, you will find approximately 3 to 4 questions from grammar itself. Rather, it can be more than that as well. I've seen questions where he's talking about usage of proper article. He has talked about proper usage of preposition. He has talked about questions which are of fill in the blanks. So that means you have questions based upon grammar as well, vocab as well. So there are other things too that are asked in Z which are not asked in CAT. Rather, last year I remember in the VA section, they had given 2 poems as well. On one poem, he straight away asked us that what is that gist of the poem, and the other one was an RC passage actually. On that poem, they asked you 2 questions. That was the scenario last year in verbal ability section. Second section, the decision making section. I feel this is the game changer. This is just like the LRDA section of CAT. People who are good at LRDA in CAT, I feel that they are always going to go through CAT. I mean, crack CAT. Here, it's a game changer section, and many people might feel there is a subjectivity. Last year, yes, there was a lot of subjectivity in decision making section. Even many people got their answers wrong. I saw some student telling me that, sir, I attended some course from some teacher, right? So the teacher was teaching decision making in 10 sessions, and finally, when the final results came out, the teacher got lesser marks than him. So he was actually telling me in a joking way, but actually that could have happened last year because actually there was so much of subjectivity involved that you never know what is going to be right, what is going to be wrong, right? So there were approximately 7-8 questions out of 21 in which you can probably object upon the answer, that why this can be the answer, why can't this be the answer. Generally, that does not happen in Z, right? As I've written, there is no subjectivity. It generally does not happen. Last year was an exception. Otherwise, I remember previously, Z even used to give you the solution of the questions. Before the result, they used to release the paper. In that paper, they used to give you the explanation as well, that why this is the answer. If you have any objection to the explanation, you could raise objection as well. So the decision making section of Z, in my opinion, it is beautifully curated section. I mean, it is just like the LRDI section of CAT, right? How beautiful the LRDI section of CAT is. Exactly the same beauty you would find in the decision making section of Z as well. How do we prepare for that? I will be talking about that too later on. The third thing, when I talk about quantitative ability and DI section, QADI, it is more of concepts based. I mean, CAT, it is more of logic based. I mean, in questions, you might find two different ways of doing a question. One is very easy, one is very difficult. That does not happen in Z generally. Generally, all the questions can be done in a single way, and mostly they take the same time. They are just looking for that, do you know the concept to do the question or not, right? Of course, you have questions from DI as well, and you have questions from number system and modern mathematics too in your Z exam, okay, which is not there in CAT. If you would have seen that, CAT does not have questions based upon numbers and modern mathematics a lot, but ZAT does. Rather, if I talk about last year, you might be surprised to know that in last ZAT, that is ZAT 2022, we had 8 questions on number system and 1 question on arithmetic. Of course, there were 9 questions from DI as well. I think it was 12. 12 or 9, I don't remember currently. But 8 questions from number system, only 1 from arithmetic, right? Otherwise, normally arithmetic has been on the higher side in Z exam. But last year we saw 8 questions on number system, and in my opinion, 12 questions were there from DI, right? The other questions were from modern maths and then other areas. So it actually changed last year suddenly. उससे पिछले साल अगर आप देखोगे, probably number system had 2 or 3 questions. Suddenly 8 questions came. So that things might change this year as well. Who knows what is going to happen this year? Please tell some topics about that. I will be talking about that. How to prepare for that. DM वो भी बात करेंगे. XLRI is the best college in country for HR. Very renowned. That's correct, Gaurav Kumar. Topic for essay writing, Aditi. I just told you in the beginning of the session the 2 topics which were there last year. The topics before that you can always find it on internet. Sir, what are the important topics for quant, and will there be more questions from arithmetic, and what are the other topics important for quant in Z other than arithmetic? Sujin Anto, I think I just answered your question. Though arithmetic has always been a major area in Z, but last year suddenly the things changed and suddenly we had a lot many questions from number system. Who knows what is going to happen this year? Probably you might have a lot many questions on geometry. Probably you once again have a lot many questions on arithmetic. But yes, barring last year, always arithmetic has been the area from which you have maximum number of questions in your Z exam. Okay, this has been the scenario before that. Okay, everyone. That was about Z versus CAT. Now we'll talk about the first section, which is decision making, the game changer section. Why do I call it a game changer? I call it a game changer because no one has an edge here. There is no person who can say, I'm already prepared for decision making. In verbal ability, you might say, Sir, I'm not very good at verbal ability. My accuracy rate is very low. There are people who score better than me in verbal ability. So, how do I fight with them? In quantitative ability, you can say, Sir, I'm very weak at quantitative ability. I'm not able to do questions. There are people who can score very well in quant. I can't, right? In decision making, everyone is exactly at the same level. You can't say that that person is already better than me in decision making. He's already scoring good. No one has prepared for DM, right? We don't even prepare for DM during our, course time as well. We talk about decision making only after this CAT exam is over. Rather, at BYJU'S exam prep, we are actually having some sessions, free sessions for decision making. So I would suggest all of you to attend those sessions, and you will find the link of that in the chat box itself. Those are free for everyone. Attend those sessions, and I'm sure your DM is going to improve after attending those sessions. As I said, it can be improved even within a week, right? And I'm not saying this just like that. I actually have done that. So I remember it, I think some 5 or 6 years back. So I have never done decision making in the exam time because I'm a maths faculty. So generally we used to write the exam from just one perspective, that we have to do the complete section of LR and QA and all, and we have to do the analysis of that. So I never did decision making. Then in 2017 I decided to do it, right? And I attended 3 sessions before that, as far as I remember, rather 2 sessions before that. In just 2 sessions of decision making, I got to know what decision making is all about. What are the things they look for? How should I choose the options? Right? How carefully I have to look at the question. Those are the things that I paid attention to. I appeared for decision making that year for the first time. I got a 95 percentile, and it was not a beginner's luck, because next year again I appeared for it. I got a 92, 93 percentile just by 2 days preparation. And as what I'm saying, even if you go through the previous year papers of that, through those previous years, just check whatever kind of questions have appeared in DM, what answers they have given, what explanation they have given to those answers. If you don't find their explanation, probably you can find the explanation of some other institute who would have provided those papers. You will find out that these previous year papers only are sufficient for you to prepare the decision making section in these last few days. Mayank, the link would be provided to you in the chat box. Someone from the team will provide it to you in some time, right? If not there, it would definitely be there later on in the description. So decision making, yes, someone was asking how to prepare for that. I would again answer, decision making you can prepare by using previous year papers of SET. Through those, you can actually prepare for it very easily. Trust me on this. It is all about, I mean, it's an opinion based section. I mean, it's a beautiful section. If you try one section of decision making where you don't have a pressure, you will actually feel very good about it, that you have to take a decision. A situation is given to you, and the options that will be given you, you will feel like all options seem correct to me. They all are viable. But then finally, you will see only one of them would be correct, and there would be a proper explanation for that as well. That why this is correct, right? Because you cannot penalize. Your target was to increase your revenue. So this, I mean, there were some hints in the questions. Through that, you will get to know that yes, this and only this can be the correct answer. So I repeat, to prepare for decision making, the best possible way for all of you, go through the previous year papers of Z, and you don't have just 2, 3 papers, that you don't have enough material for that. Probably for Z you have 12, 13 papers, previous papers. From those you can do all the questions of decision making, read their solutions as well, and I'm sure you can do good here. And this is a game changer because it's a section of 21 marks, right? An exam where XLRI will call you at a score of 32, 33, there is a section of 21 marks where everyone is exactly at the same level. You prepare very well for this, and let's say you score 13, 14 marks. There is other person who did not prepare for it, he get 3, 4 marks. Do you know, or do you understand how big this difference of 10 marks is? Right? However good that other person is in quantitative ability, however good that person is in verbal ability, but you can clear the cutoff very easily, right? If you have scored well in decision making. Therefore, I am saying it's a game changer. 50% of the students every year whom I teach, and they clear the cutoff of ZAT exam, the overall cutoff of ZAT exam, 50% of them are not able to clear the DM cutoff. That means there are so many students who are scoring good in DM, but somehow not able to score well in the overall section, right? So therefore, I am saying that DM is a section which is going to change everything for you. Do prepare well for it. Spend just 1 week on this, and I'm sure you would be able to do good in decision making. Second, when I talk about verbal ability, as I said, that critical reasoning practice has to be done. If you see the RC passages of, this section as well, Z as well, those RCs, the questions which are based upon those RCs, they would look more like critical reasoning rather than RCs. 90% of the questions in RCs would be like inference based. 90% of them would be like inference based. And many a times I've seen questions like that. There is a particular phrase given in the passage, and they would be asking you what is the exact meaning of that phrase, or give a proper usage of this particular phrase, something like that. If you go through the previous years, you will be able to understand that actually there is a difference between the CAT RC and the ZAT RCs. The kind of questions that CAT would be asking you in RCs, they are entirely different from the RC questions which are asked in ZAT. हाउ आर दे डिफरेंट एज आई सेड आपको पता लग जाएगा वंस यू गो थ्रू दोस एक बार आप करके देखिए ठीक है डू सम सेक्शंस ऑफ प्रीवियस ईयर पेपर्स ऑफ दैट through those you will automatically get an idea कि यार yes I can understand that every time they are asking you that what best can be inferred from this passage, what best can be inferred from author's statement here, what best usage of this phrase is there. So all those kind of questions generally do not appear in CAT, therefore there is a difference between them. And as I said, vocabulary too is important because in RCs itself, they might ask you questions which are based upon vocabulary. A particular word is given. They might ask you the meaning of that particular word. So therefore, vocabulary is also going to be important for you in the verbal ability section. And I have already told you, grammar based questions will be there. He might ask you questions based upon proper usage of articles or prepositions. They will ask you questions based upon fill in the blanks. So just work upon all these areas. So in slot through DILR, there was a question of data interpretation of female test. Is that question wrong? Aniket, we feel yes, the answer is wrong. The answer should have been cannot be determined, right? So you can raise an objection. I have also talked about that in the analysis, the solution of that DILR slot 3, which I have taken on our YT channel. Third, when I talk about quantitative ability and DI, first thing, the questions which are there in quantitative ability of Z, they would be slightly long. You will find, even the calculations would be slightly on the longer side sometimes, right? So numbers would also be slightly more calculative. So that happens. That's a very common feature of Z you would see. More conceptual clarity is needed, as I told you. There are some areas which CAT does not ask, but Z would be asking you questions on those. For example, those angle of elevation and angle of depression, so heights and distances based questions. Okay, I've seen questions based upon probability there. I've seen questions based upon clocks there. I've seen questions based upon median and mode there. So there are many such areas from which Z would be asking you questions, but I have not seen such questions in CAT, right? So this is different in Z with respect to CAT. So I would say spend some time on these areas as well. Similarly, trigonometry is an area from which Z might ask you questions. But yes, you can't say that from which area you will have maximum number of questions. You might have questions from arithmetic, you might have questions from number system, you might have questions from geometry. That's completely dependent upon the CS paper. But it keeps changing. So what is going to happen this year? No one can answer that. But yes, definitely one thing we can say that data interpretation part is something that you should look for. Normally, what I have seen, it is on the easier side with respect to quantitative ability. So focus upon that as well. So slot 2 mein there was one question which was wrong. That was a question of that root and diagram question. Once again, the first question was wrong. So that also I have discussed in my analysis. You can watch that. Will they remove the question or give marks to people who have attempted? Aniket, if they would agree to the mistake, so either it will be removed for all of you or everyone would be given marks for that. My inference based question accuracy is so low, will I be able to improve it in 30 days? Sumit, if it is very low, in my opinion, I would say look for the other kind of questions then and focus more upon grammar based questions, fill in the blanks and all. That would be your strength area then. I don't know about para jumble. I am not yet into that. Last year only one question is from geometry. Yes, Vedant. As I said last year, though, only 8 questions were from this number system. 12 questions from DI. So 12 plus 8 is 20. Remaining 8 questions were from algebra, this arithmetic, geometry, permutation, combination, probability. So all these areas were distributed among all of them. So I think 1 or 2 questions from geometry were there. That was the scenario last year. Okay. Now we talk about the last thing, that is what should be the 30 days schedule, what you should be doing in the last 30 days now. That's what I am going to डिस्कस नाउ विद ऑल ऑफ यू कि लास्ट के 30 डेज का आपका शेड्यूल क्या होना चाहिए. आई एम गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट इट वीक बाय वीक. What should you do in the first week, then the second week, then in the third week, from the fourth week? What is a good score in DM? Om Bagal, as I just told you, that the cutoff has generally been around 7 to 8. So, of course, a good score would be called above that only. उसी को बोलेंगे हम लोग. So, what should be your schedule now for the upcoming 30 days? So, let's start talking about that. And as someone was asking about the link, Mayank was asking, so that link is there now in your chat box. The complete Z decision making free lectures. You can watch it here. Okay. So what should be the schedule? In the first week, in my opinion, start with decision making. This is the area, as I said, which is the most important one, right? At this time, in this next 1 month, in my opinion, you should pay most focus upon this area, which is decision making. Do a little bit of vocabulary as well, because we have not done that for CAT. Not many questions appeared in CAT. So therefore, in the first week, completely work upon previous year papers of decision making, previous year paper questions of grammar, vocabulary, and write a mock of that and do a proper analysis of that. Where are you going wrong? What are the things that you could have improved and all? This you should be doing in the very first week. Comes the second week then. In the second week, do questions based upon critical reasoning, right? Questions which are RC based critical reasoning questions. So please do those questions. Spend some time on modern maths now. Spend some time on number system now, because these are the areas you might have left from CAT's perspective. CAT hardly asked you any questions on these two. This year also they did not ask much questions on these. So now probability is something that you should look at. As I told you, heights and distances is something that you should look at. So now focus upon these areas. In the second week, apart from doing all these things, write 2 mocks and properly analyze them once again. That's also going to be very important for you. 2 mocks and a proper analysis of those 2 mocks. Comes the third week. Previous year papers, especially DM, as I have written over here. So as you know that XAT is available, I think after 2008, all the papers of XAT are available to you. I think before 8 as well, it might be available. You just have to check it, right? But from 2008, I'm pretty sure all the papers are available with us. Do all those papers right from Z 2008 in the third week. Z 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, up to 22. So you have so many papers to do. Especially pay more attention to DMC. Where are you going wrong? Why are you going wrong? What mistakes are you making? Apart from that, write a mock and do a proper analysis of that in the third week. Comes the fourth week now. In the fourth week, I am saying do not do the topics now. Your job should be just to write 3 mocks and a proper analysis of those mocks. In the fourth week, your job should be writing the mocks, doing a proper analysis, and see what strategy suits you. ठीक है, ये चेक कीजिए, आर यू गुड इन डिसीजन मेकिंग, आर यू गुड इन क्वांटिटेटिव एबिलिटी, आर यू गुड इन वर्बल एबिलिटी, which is the area where you are the strongest, which is the area where you are the weakest. Find out those areas, right, and work upon that. This is going to be the important area for you in the fourth week. So if you go by this method in the next 4 weeks, I am pretty sure you are going to prepare well for your XAT exam. First month, first week, decision making, vocabulary, 1 mock. Second week, critical reasoning based questions, modern mathematics, number system, probability, heights and distances, 2 mocks. Third week, previous year papers, all of them, especially decision making, pay more attention to that, a mock and the analysis. And in the last week, you will have to do 3 mocks and analysis. Okay. I hope it is clear. 1 mock per week for first week. 1 mock per week for first week. You can say so. That automatically means 1 mock in a week, right? So that is not first month सिद्धांत रावत, that is first week. तो एक ही मॉक बनेगा पूरे वीक में. तो रोज नहीं लिखना है, जस्ट 1 mock इन द कंप्लीट मंथ. ठीक है, उस पूरे में आपको सिर्फ 1 mock लिखना है. दिस इज व्हाट यू हैव टू पे अटेंशन टू. Okay, everyone. So that was the last 30 days schedule of Z. This is all that I wanted to discuss, guys. So I'm sure that this session was useful for you. If you are preparing for CAT 2023, yes, we are here. We have a comprehensive program for that, right? So you will be getting a learning tablet, the classroom sessions, the mock test, and everything that is written on the screen will be available to you. So of course, if you are looking for a course, of course, please join us in this program. We will be there even after the exam with you for GDPI and WET preparation. And yes, if any one of you is appearing for SNAP exam, we are having the analysis of the SNAP exam on 10th of December at 6 p.m. So join us on 10th of December at the YT channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. We'll be talking about exam patterns, section-wise analysis, and a lot many things which are going to be useful. Also, the last lab 2 CAT, we are running this course from 30th of November to 9th of December. So the last few sessions are left. Every day at 7 p.m. we take a session on that, and we are doing a complete revision for your SNAP and IFT exam. Do join us there as well. And for the XAT mock, the All India Open mock which we are running. So it will be there from 14th of December to 23rd of December. It's a must give by each one of you, because not only you will be getting a video solution by the experts, you will also get to know about your strengths and weaknesses, exam strategy, and you will also get to know where do you stand with respect to the other participants in the XAT exam, right? We are also available on all these media handles, guys. You can join us there as well. And that is all from my side, guys. Thank you very much. I'm sure this session has been useful for you. If there is any more questions, I would be happy to take those questions. Otherwise, I'll close the session now. Sankirtana says, sir, like cat, do BYJU'S have mock test? Yes, Sankirtana, we do have mock test as well. Can I give 2, 3 mocks? Siddhant Rao, that's completely up to you. But I mean, the plan that I shared, I well thought about it, and only then I said that 1, 2, 3 mocks accordingly. Too many mocks in a particular month, particular week. I mean, this might distort the things a little bit. So, though it's completely based upon your capacity as well. Sir, if I clear the XLRI cutoff, then does that imply I will definitely get a call? Yes, if you clear all the cutoffs, Om Bagal, you're definitely going to get a call. In the video in which you discussed slot 3 DLR, you said that you will ask other faculties about the question. Are they agreeing with you, or there is another matter? No, Niket. They agreed with me on that, that yes, that's a point, that's a question where we can raise objection. Okay, Sankitana. Okay, everyone. Thank you very much. That was all about today. Thank you very much. I'm sure this was a useful session for you. We'll meet again in some next other session. Till then, bye bye and take care. Have a good day.